In the early days of the United States, there was a prevailing notion to negotiate with native tribes for their land, rather than resorting to outright conquest. This approach hinted at a desire for a more equitable method of land acquisition, reflecting a commitment to justice. Yet, as history unfolded, the reality of the U.S. government's actions often stood in stark contrast to these noble ideals. Initially, the U.S. government sought to foster peaceful relations with native tribes, entering transactions that offered goods and services in exchange for land ownership. However, this amicable approach began to deteriorate as ambitious settlers increasingly demanded more territory, creating a breeding ground for conflict and discord. As the burgeoning nation expanded its reach, it faced mounting resistance from tribes who resolutely refused to sell their ancestral lands. This reluctance ignited tensions and conflicts that gradually eroded the idealistic principles of justice and humanity, which had once fueled negotiations. One of the most harrowing examples of this turmoil can be seen in the experience of the Seminole tribes, who endured a brutal military campaign that culminated in their forced relocation. This episode starkly showcased the violent methods employed to displace native populations in pursuit of land. Similarly, the Muskogee Nation's attempts to negotiate a relocation treaty ended in betrayal, underscoring a troubling trend: the consistent pattern of the United States breaking agreements made with native tribes. These betrayals became a grim hallmark of federal tribal relations. In a parallel narrative, the Sioux and Arapaho nations initially found success in defending their lands against U.S. military forces. However, this success was short-lived, as the allure of discovery, specifically gold within their territories, ultimately led to the heartbreak of broken treaties and loss. The demand for land didn't stop there. The Black Belt Prairie, rich with potential for cotton farming, became a highly coveted region. This insatiable desire only intensified the aggressive policies directed against indigenous populations, further marginalizing those who had inhabited the land for centuries. Despite their efforts and even winning a landmark Supreme Court case affirming their land rights, the Cherokee Nation faced a grim reality when the ruling was met with non-enforcement. This situation starkly illustrated the limitations of judicial power when confronted by the overwhelming force of executive authority. The Indian Removal Act of 1830 further exemplified the dire circumstances faced by native tribes, as it outlined a deceptive plan to relocate them to far less hospitable lands. Disguised under the false pretense of voluntary negotiation, this act underscored the treacherous tactics employed against Native Americans. In their vulnerability, the Cherokee were manipulated into signing treaties by leaders lacking the rightful authority to make such significant decisions. This illustrates a systematic exploitation of native tribes during negotiations, revealing the deep-seated dishonesty inherent in U.S. policies at the time. The Trail of Tears stands as a poignant reminder of the harsh realities faced by these displaced tribes. As they undertook the grueling journey of over 1,000 miles, they encountered extreme weather and unforgiving terrain, marking this forced migration with suffering and loss. Historical documentation offers a chilling glimpse into the extent of this ethnic cleansing, with systematic records detailing the payments and treaties involved. This bureaucratic approach illustrates the calculated nature of the U.S. government's actions, laying bare the stark realities behind their land acquisition strategies. Now, shifting gears, let's explore how working with experienced designers can significantly enhance the quality of creative work. Collaboration fosters an environment where ideas can be freely exchanged, allowing for the refinement of concepts and ultimately leading to superior results. Support from patrons emerges as a crucial lifeline for content creators, and platforms like Patreon serve as essential tools for generating the funds necessary to produce high-quality videos. This support empowers creators to focus on their craft without the constant worry of financial constraints. Furthermore, utilizing professional tools, such as LUTs, significantly enhances video quality. Collaborating with experts not only aids in developing effective color grading techniques but also elevates the overall visual appeal of the projects undertaken.